These guys gotta go. Let's Talk Lions. Welcome back to an all-new episode here at Let's Talk Lions. My name is Jay. Thank you for hanging out. It's been a little bit since that Lions-Packers game, which was the last episode that I made, last video that I made. We are here now, so let's talk about free agency, I guess. When looking at free agency as a whole, the Lions have quite a few guys that are unrestricted free agents going into this offseason. I believe there's 13, maybe it's 18. Forget the exact number. We'll drop it in here. But quite a few guys that the Lions got to figure out what we're going to do with. From Jamal Williams to DJ Chark, Amani Oruwariye, all the way down the line to Alex Anzalone. There are a ton of guys that the Lions are going to have to make a big decision on. These guys that came in as 1 year, 2 year options, prove it deals, and now are part of the culture, a part of the build here in Detroit. So what's going to happen? And today I wanted to pick three fellas that I think we got to let walk, for better or for worse. Coming in at number 3, we've got Nate Sudfeld. Look, backup quarterback position was a real roller coaster this offseason. I mean, coming into this year, it was Jared Goff as QB1, and it was Tim Boyle trying to fight against David Blau for that backup spot. Two guys that aren't even on the roster, that weren't even on the roster going into week 1 of the season. And then the Lions went out and they got Nate Sudfeld, I believe from San Francisco. He came in here to Detroit, and so since then, Nate Sudfeld was the backup. We were blessed to never have to worry about a QB injury in which Sudfeld had to even take the field. You know, I think we saw him out there one time, and it was when we were blowing out somebody. We took Goff, we took the starters off the field at the end of the game in order to just buy our time, just, run the clock out. But as a whole, Nate Sudfeld was never a quarterback. He's not a guy that could even usurp Goff. The quarterback room as a whole has been a very interesting discussion here in Detroit, beginning with the whole Matt Stafford, Jared Goff situation. You had people calling for Jared Goff's job year 1. I was in the camp of give him time, put the pieces around him, he will succeed. Here we are, he is succeeding, and yet we still have people that are desperate for Lamar Jackson to look at Detroit, that are desperate for another quarterback to come in. Listen, Ben Johnson is staying. Ben Johnson is staying, and I trust Ben Johnson to get the best out of Jared Goff as he did this past season, and I think he's going to elevate his game. He's going to keep him elevated going into the 2023 season. I don't see a reason for us to go try to find a QB1. What matters is that backup spot. So do the Lions during the draft process look for a QB, a Mr. Irrelevant, you could say, like Brock Purdy, a guy who can come in, young guy, to just sit under Jared Goff over the next couple years, because we know that Brad Holmes has said Goff was never to be a bridge quarterback. He believed in Goff from the start, and so here we are. But I do think that backup quarterback position must be addressed. Nate Sudfeld's not the guy. Go find somebody who, in a pinch, can actually win you a game. I don't know if Nate Sudfeld could do that. Drop your thoughts below, though, regarding the QB position, what you think the Lions should look to do. Is that something that we should address in free agency or in the draft as a backup quarterback to be behind Goff? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Moving on to number 2 is Will Harris. Should he stay or should he go? That man's got to go. Will Harris, though, yes, he has had some moments, some flashes of, oh, this guy could be great. He's had these flashes, these moments, but as a whole, this year, I was thoroughly let down with Harris. I think the only way the Lions could bring him back, that I'd be okay with bringing him back, is on a cheap deal. It's got to be cheap, because Will Harris didn't do anything to me to prove to me that he is a guy worth sticking out, keeping around here in Detroit. Yes, again, he had some moments, and I'm not going to take that away from him, but as a whole, I think he's a guy in free agency that we could let walk and try to pick up somebody to fill that spot. The amount of times, the amount of games I'd sit there and I'd be like, I remember even the Bills game, great example. I'm sitting next to my brother and I'm like, get ready. I said, he is a liability. Will Harris is a liability. Just keep your eyes peeled for number 25. Anytime Josh Allen looking downfield. He was picking on Will Harris all day. Saw that way too many times during this season. Our secondary has a lot of issues at the cornerback position. The cornerback position is not great here in Detroit, and there's a lot of work that has to go into it. Will Harris has to go, and that leads me to number one. The number one guy we got to let walk, Amani Oruwariye. And that pains me to say because I love Oru Warrick. I loved what Oru Warrick was doing. You look at his stats, 2021 versus 2022. Just check this out. 2021, 2022, both years, 14 games played. He obviously had to step up last year. Jeff Okudah goes down. He steps up. He has 6 picks, 1 fumble recovery. Those picks, he actually had 73 yards running it back, and he had 11 passes defended against. He was great out there last year. Well, coming into this year, I don't know if our guy couldn't handle the pressure of, Jeff Okudah's back. Jeff Okudah, like, I've been named CB1. I'm fighting it. I'm dogging it. And then Jeff Okudah proves to be the guy who he should be. And so now you're kind of under that pressure and he just crumbles. Like, I don't know what happened with Oru Warrick. No idea. Unless there is an injury that he sustained that the Lions did not disclose, which you cannot do unless he has some sort of injury that we don't know about. I don't think there's a real good reason for his play, especially based on what we saw in 2021. I thought he was coming into 2022 to be a dog, and he wasn't. I mean, was he injured? Did the pressure get to him? Or did he just become Chuck Knobloch and have the yips out there and it just made no sense and was all mental and he just fell apart? I don't know. All I know is he crumbled like a Chips Ahoy cookie, the blue kind, not the red kind, because the red kind's chewy. And I gotta say, growing up, I love the red kind. But the blue kind was too crumbly. There were crumbs everywhere. Didn't do anything good for me. You gotta dip it in the milk. It's a little chalky. Not a blue Chips Ahoy guy. I don't know what happened with Oru Warrick, but 2021, he was proving himself to be a guy. This year, he came out. He absolutely collapsed. Coming into this, he's an unrestricted free agent, and it's not worth it, in my opinion. I think we got to look elsewhere. This is why, come draft time, we have, obviously, the number 6 overall pick through the Rams. So our 2 first-round picks, I'm looking and I'm saying, with that first, I want to go D-line. I want to go D-line. I want to address the D-line. I want to hit it hard, keep hitting them up front in the trenches, and build out an incredible up-front trench defensively, stop the run, figure out a way to do that, which we did the second half of the season. And then with that second pick, I want to go cornerback. I want to go CB, get a guy in the backfield to help out Jeff Okudah. And so what I'm looking at is we need a guy to counter him badly. It wasn't in Oru Warrick. That's a huge bummer, but we will see. Those are my 3 guys that I think we got to definitely let walk. It's Nate Sudfeld, Will Harris for sure, and unfortunately, Amani. So, that is it. That is it for today. Definitely do a video about the 3 guys that we got to keep. Maybe 5 guys we got to keep. Maybe 6 guys we got to keep. I don't know. Just drop your thoughts in the comments. Which free agents, unrestricted free agents, do you think the Lions need to let walk? If you could pick 3, drop them in the comments. That's it, and I'll catch you next time on Let's Talk Lions.